Hey everyone, and welcome to this first episode of the year 2022. My name is Peter, and here on my channel or in this updates, I'm going to provide you with everything I look at to navigate these markets on the macro perspective, on the stock market, and on the crypto market as well. So now let's jump in on the macro view. We had already last week the discussion about the Federal Reserve meeting in December. What have we to expect for the next year? Actually, when it's about, Federal Reserve, are they going to rumble the printing press or are they rather going on the brakes? We may remember from the last week, we already said they are going to increase the interest rates because of the soaring inflation. When we look at the left chart here, we see the inflation, the core inflation in the US. It's actually pretty high here, very soaring. It's the highest inflation seen since decades, actually, since 30 years probably. Nevertheless, from the survey here, which was very interesting, I thought, we see that the expectations of, for example, investors, entrepreneurs, and consumers, nevertheless, they expect the inflation to be more around the average 2% line, which is actually already the aim of the Federal Reserve. I thought it was very interesting because it might be, or it can imply that the inflation which we have now has not been seen by so many people, to be honest, because the last time we saw that was in the around 1970s, 1980s time, so there are not a lot of people remember this time. And there we also see, like here on the right, I mean, like that's this kind of like same scenario. We have this inflation numbers and how the central banks in the history reacted to these kind of inflation rates is actually like by a far bigger extent than what the Federal Reserve is going now. These are the aims here of the Federal Reserve for their hikes. And that is what the market is actually pricing. They think that, or they expect the hikes not to be that steep. Nevertheless, this is what the people expect, but is maybe the situation misjudged? Are they maybe not expecting the Federal Reserve to actually conduct their tapering in the way they have announced it? We will see that. Surely this is something to watch out for the next weeks, month ongoing here as well. But the probability or the risk, I think, that the investors see in the upcoming weeks and month for a global recession actually decreased sharply. You know, like this little tower here, that's the Corona crisis, or the pre-Corona crisis, actually, where we already went into kind of like a recession. And now the probability goes down, people calm down a little bit. Also, the probability for US core or the deflator, the people they think that it's not going to be higher at the end of the year than it is actually now, which means that they expect somewhere a smoother transition from very low rates to kind of like a 2% area. They have quite confident, or they are quite confident in the Federal Reserve. That, I think that's what this implies, that they are going to taper in a responsible way, that they are not going to kill the economy, and they think the party is not over yet. On the contrary side, you can also say that the expectation of 10-year treasuries at the end of the year are higher than today, actually is very high. They expect it. On the contrary, here for emerging markets, the people are quite, or the S people are quite confident that the bonds will beat the high yields, which is like they are looking pretty optimistic on emerging markets. I mean, like on the one side, you can say here probability of higher 10-year treasuries, that they are higher, could implement that the emerging markets are also not doing that well. But maybe they expect that, you know, like from the natural of emerging markets, they still have some potential, a lot of potential for growth. They maybe also expect them to prosper more against the established economies. When we look at the stock markets, actually the last few days have been pretty well. Also a good sign, I think that's a good start. Apple marked a new top at 3 trillion, which is like, that's insane. Some countries, you know, don't even have that. And Tesla also did pretty well over the last few days on the start. This is because of the good numbers from car selling. They exceeded the expectations of the investors by a huge number. Good to see Tesla recovering after, you know, like still Elon Musk sold a lot of his stocks, but the investors are pretty confident in the company and in Elon Musk in particular. When we look at crypto markets, you know, I think most of you know, it's pretty boring right now. It depends on your how your sentiment is, but in my terms, it's quite boring to see Bitcoin stumbling around these areas, consolidating in these areas of between 45, 48, 49, and yeah, this has been going on for a long time, though. To be honest, you know, when we look back here, we have been in these areas in May last. Also, like we haven't even done a huge step for a huge time, for a long time, which is good for the large caps alts, because, you know, like when Bitcoin is consolidating, alts going crazy, and this is what happened. I announced, like I told you last time here as well already, DeFi is going pretty well. I'm pretty happy about my gains here as well, though. For Atom, for example, Cosmo did pretty well here this over the last few days as well. So yeah, definitely take a look at this. Altcoins are doing really nice moves while Bitcoin is consolidating. From the macro perspective on terms of crypto, for example, or in particular, the question is, are we going up? Are we going down? Plan B is saying we are now going up. He expects actually this next leg up to the upside. On the contrary, people are pretty skeptical, you know, like they are pretty fearful. You see that extreme fear on the Fear and Greed Index. I mean, like we are here in this area of support right now, but there's not a lot of momentum right now in the one side or the other, so people are pretty scary about these areas. There can be actually like a little wick down to the, I would say like 42, 43 area. Nevertheless, we have lengthening cycles. That's what you see here on the left chart. There's no doubt about that. Maybe it takes some time, or it needs some time. On chain, we look actually pretty fine, I think, from my perspective. When you look at the illiquid supply, for example, we can see that more coins are moved to cold wallets, which normally implies that they are not there for spending, they are rather there for hodling. So when this supply is going up, the people are normally actually like hodling. They keep their coins for themselves. They are not about to sell them. This means like there's a decrease in the overall spendable supply, less on exchanges, whereas we also see that's actually a very bullish sign. Here as well, the hash rate has recovered, actually has already hit an all-time high. After the China ban, I think like many people thought like, oh my god, this would never happen. You can't ban mining, you can't do this, like it's all decentralized. So much to that. China said like, no, we are going to ban mining. The miners had to shut down in China and had to move to other places, but they did this actually quite fastly. I think hash rate recovered smoothly, and now is an all-time high. What we also see on the left side is from the liquid supply. This means that normally, like from the history we see, I can show you here, when the illiquid supply is going up, the price follows. So the question will remain in this case. We have illiquid supply going up. What is the price going to do? And we will see in this case. We already broke down under it. And the question will remain for the future and for the next few days probably. Will the Bitcoin price follow this line? Is this a reliable indicator or is it not? Question remains open. And last but not least, happy birthday Bitcoin. 13 years ago, the first block, the Genesis block, got mined. And we also see here Melania Trump, she congratulated Bitcoin to that. I didn't know that the Trumps were actually talking on their family occasions about Bitcoin. Obviously they are doing that. 13 years. We got pretty far, I think, till that point. I don't know how long have you been already in the market. For me, the years were up and down for sure since I'm in the market. But ask yourself, why do you use Bitcoin? Why do you want Bitcoin? And forget about the FUD. Like, silence the noise around. There's always gonna be a lot of FUD. Just focus on the fundamentals. Focus on what is important and why this is an asset of your choice. We have been coming to an end. I hope you did enjoy this session. I did for sure. If you like this, please press the like button, give the algorithm a reason to flourish. Share this also to you people you care about. And hit the subscribe button if you want to have more of this. Also, give me in the comment section some hint if you want something else to be included in these updates. I will sure look about this. All right, thank you very much. Until next time, I see you.